seated and ready? All right, let's bring this meeting of the Diamond Head Water and Sewer District together formally today at 4:02 on the back clock. Everyone join me in a pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks to all of you. Ms. Tony, can you take roll, please?
Chairman Brian Griffith.
Here.
Vice Chairman Louis Hertel.
Here.
Treasurer Mark Bisecker.
Here.
Commissioner Arlen Griffey.
Here.
And Commissioner Eric Nolan.
Here.
Thank you.
Let it be noted, we have a full complement of the commissioners at this meeting. Thank you. All right. In advance of this meeting, I have not received requests either from the staff or other commissioners for any agenda changes. I'm assuming we're going into this that same way. If that's the case, then I'll call for an approval of the agenda as submitted.
So moved. Second.
Commissioner Griffey motions and Commissioner Ertel seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye. And that is carried. Leads us into segment 3, which is public comment. And I'm going to give the benefit, or that's probably not the right term, but anyway, because of the weather, if this guest should come in, we'll cycle back to public comment and allow her to present before the board. Okay. Everybody good with that?
Yeah. Good.
Yes. All right, leads us to the minutes section, specifically approval of the minutes from the last regularly held meeting on January the 11th, 2024. Can I get a motion to approve as submitted?
So moved.
Commissioner Nolan motions to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Ertel seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
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 And that carries. Thank you. Moves us to the general manager's report.
Thanks, sir. Starting with the elevated water tank project, digital engineering, we've been working on the closeout documents as we discussed previously. The contractor has been notified that we got a leak out there in the yard on 12-inch valves. It's probably a bonnet on one of the valves, but they're supposed to mobilize next week and assess it and initiate their repair process. The altitude valve, we've received final plans from the engineer this morning, and we'll request board approval for advertisement to bid during the next board meeting. Water System Improvement Project Phase 3. We've requested as-built drawings and closeout documents from these contractors, withholding retainage until items are delivered and district invoices are paid. Retainage is at 133.5. If no progress or closeout is made within the next week, management will seek legal direction or action in accordance with the requirements of the contract, unless there's any objection from anyone. Water System Improvement Project Phase 3. The project was considered complete as of December 1st. However, some unexpected punch list items were discovered during the walkthrough, one of which will require excavation and repairs on Ewa Court, and is planned for next week. Project will be closed out once all items are complete and approved by engineers and district management. Sewer System Sewer Improvement Project, based in 13, 16, and 17, Suncoast has completed all of the mainline CIPP except for 2 remaining 15-inch lines on Topalama. Contractors working on these lines now, and they are anticipating to be complete by the end of the week. With this rain, probably not so. It'll go into next week. VLD has completed all 242 of the lateral lines, and the project is 91% complete. There is still a substantial punch list with the contractor, which the contractor will be working on in the coming weeks. No abandonment of easements this week. Drainage ditch from Colo Court seems to be holding its own. Of course, there's small signs of continued erosion, as we discussed previously. The MDOT roundabout project, contractor has installed the sewer and services, starting with the water pipe relocation on Monday, the 29th, and will require a water shutdown for the Econo Lodge, the Texaco Station, Diamond Head Leaf Medical Dispensary, and the Flautas Mexican Restaurant. Of course, district management will be monitoring and supervising that operation. Some highlights from the maintenance department: 4 sewer cleanouts were installed, 3 sewer backups were tended to, 3 sewer force main point repairs. That's actually, I should say 1, I'm sorry, typo. 1 new water and sewer service or connection installed, 2 fire hydrants were replaced, 8 after-hour emergency responses for water were addressed. Additional internal district projects we're working on, GIS integration and maintenance. Digital engineering is currently updating our GIS system with improvements from previous projects. Subdivision plan reviews. Digital engineering has got Diamond Head Lakes Phase 2. We've received a redesign. I think this is number 3 or 4, actually. But they're preparing a proposal to do that review at this time. The Preserve Phase 2 received the plans. Review should be complete by February 2nd. Lift Station 26, Seymour Engineering is working on drawings now in the design phase for sewer pumps and panel upgrades. That's all I have.
I have one question,
Sure.
and it's just a curiosity. What prompts a fire hydrant to be replaced?
Age and condition.
Do they break? Do they not work properly, or?
Some of the hydrants that we were talking about were put here in 1970 to 73.
Okay.
So it gets to a point where the repair parts are no longer, the corrosion is so bad, it's just
Can't-
not worth it.
You couldn't rebuild it?
We snatch it out. We put in about 10 to 15 a year.
Thank you. I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. Part of our maintenance.
50 years old.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or comments?
No, sir.
One small question on the GIS integration and maintenance. Y'all are currently using ArcMap.
Yes,
Are you planning a transition to Arc Pro?
yes. That
Okay.
is exactly the transition.
Because I know I'm dealing with the same thing at my office, that ArcMap, the support on it is going to be non-existent.
It pretty much is
Shortly.
already.
Shortly.
But yeah, it'll go web-based. We have 2 portable tablets, if you will, out in
Yeah.
the field for the guys to actually add data, which will then be integrated into the whole system. So it's gonna be nice if we can ever get it finished.
Nobody likes to do the modernization, but once you get it in
Yes.
there, it makes it a whole lot easier. to
It
use.
will. Then we can just upload new infrastructure items as we need.
Okay. Well, and so that actually not the ARC Pro component of that, but actually before I get into it, Commissioner Bisecker, do you have any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
So mine would have held over to a different angle on that. So obviously the manner in which the statement of the action was presented is an integration of much of the data collected during some of our other projects like basin reviews and the like, right? So
Yes,
we're
sir.
getting a lot of updated
Absolutely.
GIS conditional information. Good.
It's quite a bit.
Second question I have is on EWA. Can you elaborate on that one a little bit, just because I remember calling you about that one depression point. I don't know if that was any relationship to it or not.
No.
Okay.
It was actually discovered during a leak that we had a couple of weekends ago, and there's an old 3-inch line that's still connected. So that's got to be terminated and confirm that all services are off that line, and then we'll cut and cap and remove the valve box. So looks like something that was left off or overlooked or never finished, one of the 3.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I don't have any further questions either, and thanks for the report, Dave. Good job. All right. That'll move us to the construction engineering projects in section 6. As everyone noted in their receipt of tonight's agenda, we actually move all the way down to 6.5 with 6.1 through 4 receiving no activity this evening. 6.5 being specifically the MDOT Roundabout Utility Relocation Project. 6.5A, seeking a motion tonight to approve digital engineering invoice 728-1310.02209 in the amount of $7,680.06 for the time period of November 26, 2023 through December 30, 2023, leaving remaining balance $16,041.29 on the construction engineering contract. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Tell motions to approve. Can I get a second? Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, and the motion carries. 6.6, miscellaneous construction engineering project, 6A specifically, seeking a motion tonight to approve master services agreement with Seymour Engineering effective February 8th, 2024 through February 8th, 2025, with an auto extension of 1 year, no changes to the current billing rates, and to authorize the chairman to execute the same. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Griffey motions to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
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 And that motion carries. 66B, motion to approve digital engineering invoice number 23R00024.01004 in the amount of $1,350 for the tower number 2 altitude valve for the time period of November 26, 2023 through December 30, 2023, leaving a remaining balance of $11,790 on this contract. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Rattell motions to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval's action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and that motion
Aye.
carries. Thank you, Commissioner Beisecker. And that moves us to the financials. Tonight is seeking a motion to approve on the docket of claims and financial reports, seeking a motion to approve the payment of docket of claims in the total amount of $10,278.37 as attached. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Rattell motions to approve. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval's action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye,
Aye.
and that motion carries. 7.1B, seeking a motion to acknowledge payment of the unapproved docket of claims as detailed in Section 6, which we just traveled through, in the total amount of $9,030.06 as attached here too. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Griffey motions. Can I get a second?
Second.
Commissioner Nolan seconds. All in favor of approval of this action signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye,
Aye.
and that carries. 7.1C, to close out this section, seeking a motion to approve payment, a customer deposit refund register in the total amount of $4,047.59 as attached here too. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Rattell motions to approve.
Second.
And Commissioner Griffey seconds. All in favor of approval's action signify by saying aye.
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 Aye, and the motion is approved. Old business this evening, there is none. New business, there is none. However, before I close out this evening, did you want to address the board, John? I do not. Okay. Then, I'm sorry. Okay.
I had originally, apologies, I had originally thought we might go into executive session, but I don't think there's a necessity for it yet. The district received notice late last week with regard to a filing at the Public Service Commission by the Kiel Water and Sewer District. They're not water and sewer, I can't remember what they're called, but they're district. And to expand their certificated area in both their water and their sewer. Absent from that petition filed with PSC were the exhibits which would have defined the area they sought to enlarge. I reached out to their engineer and to the council who filed it, and I got a response late yesterday from council. And I reached out to council for the city, and I'll explain that in a minute as
Okay.
well. But, so they filed, their initial filing is wrong, that they filed. And so, and the way the PSC is, they have a water side and a sewer side, you gotta file them separately, and they filed a joint filing,
Okay.
and so now they gotta go back and separate and file separately. So they, council wrote me back and said, we've got y'all, we know you've reached out, y'all are watching, we'll send it to you when we get it. So, when we refile. So that's where that is. The problem is that, you know, as of right now, we really don't know the area they're talking about. With regard to the district, I'm not sure you will care. I mean, you gotta see what it is. But the city comes in it from a different perspective, and they were not given notice, and they're not required to because we are the light carrier. And so I thought it important that the city know, because if they ever want to, seems like the path, there's only one way to go, and they're going they're gonna confront each other. So I wanted y'all to be aware. Y'all tell us, you know, and we'll keep you posted as we know anything. It's very premature right now. The district may care and the district may not. I don't know. I don't know what your thought process may be.
So,
I'm sorry.
I was following you I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, generally speaking, I know we don't have maps in front of us, but does this new filing or this new proposal, does it make their area butt up against our district? Does it impinge upon us or butt against us, or we don't know?
We don't know, and that's, and even per se, if it did, and this
Right.
is pre-AG, but we did a study out back. You know, I'm assuming they're gonna come down through and come across, I may be wrong, but I'm assuming they're gonna come to the city limit line, probably.
That's what I would assume, right?
I'm assuming that. We had looked at expanding service. We can't afford to do it. It does not generate enough revenue to offset the cost to provide service to that area today. I don't know about tomorrow. But for us, we have to generate enough money to cover our debt expenses, so we're a little bit different. But the city, if you are the city, and here's where we're that anomaly, that we are not part of the city, which kind of works to the district's advantage on this, but for the city, that's the only way they can grow.
That's right.
And so so they have a vested interest in watching this as well. We both do, but basing it off assumptions right now. I believe they're gonna go there. I don't know that. So, your question, Chair?
Well, I think you actually covered it just by covering up all the rest of what was missing in that structure. So, it would obviously portend, John, that at the time that they do submit some type of idea what they're up to, that we would all sit down, because if it's in the interest of the city to grow in that direction, there may be some weighing in. And as I recall in preliminary discussion in this regard, and the other commissioners may or may not know this, our own, we could call it certificated area, includes a 1 mile buffer zone. 1 mile is a pretty sporty area if we wanted to retain it. We could certainly do that, or we could certainly set out to retain it, correct? Is that correct, Dave?
I'm sorry, I missed that question.
Could we
We have,
retain
we
a
have a
1
one,
mile?
we have, basically have a 1 mile,
You can give that up, I would believe.
we do not.
What do we have?
That's a misconception.
Okay, well then correct that.
My
Okay.
mind is blown.
I'm sorry. All right, so the way the law is written with regard to the Public Service Commission, it's kind of two phases. You have the ability to serve 1 mile out, extend from your certificated area without,
Without signing the paperwork.
without being subject to rate regulations from the PSC.
Okay,
So if requested, you could provide that service if there's no alternative.
mhm,
You can also do the same thing up to 5 miles outside your certificated area. However, at that point, mile 2 to 5 is subject to PSC rate regulation.
mhm.
So we don't have exclusive jurisdiction in that 1 mile, but we can provide unregulated, rate regulation, we're not subject
Extension of hour service in the 1 mile.
for 1 mile without rate regulation, correct?
Well, and so if we distill all that down to the essence of the key components, having done, and that study is not that old, having done a preliminary study of the actual cost of infrastructure capitalization to reach service to some proximity of that area, it's cost prohibitive at the moment, as I recall.
Extremely.
So we're not exactly fighting our way to the table to just be a cog in the wheel. On the other hand, and so that being what it may, I can understand the city's interest, because is this the kill growing into Diamond Head? Is it the Diamond Head growing into the kill? Is somebody gonna annex the area first? That type of thing, so.
John, in your opinion, is the kill growing faster towards us? Are we growing faster towards them, or what's the condition? It's an opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the kill's not a city that serves that area, but
Right.
it's a community as a whole. You look out Kills Mill Road, and you got that new shopping center that just opened up, over in Harrison County, right just on the other side of the line. You got that little subdivision. Maybe sooner or later it'll get started to be built. He's got a lot coming in that direction, so it's very possible that happens.
But that's solely from a water and sewer perspective. So if you're looking at it, if you're looking at it from the city's perspective, and this is why, that is their only path to growth. And they're not gonna be given notice. So I just wanted to make sure, as good, because we share the same, our ratepayer is their taxpayer. And if they ever decide they've got to grow, and they've already certificated it, it's gonna cost a lot more. So that's why it's like, you gotta be willing to look in the crystal ball, kind of push it out and go afar, it's unfortunate, and I don't know how quickly they're growing up there, but they're not incorporating, they're not forming a city. It's simply their utility district wanting to expand, so.
Which is odd on its own merits. It just is. I have way too much history with that water and sewer district. That's really odd. I do have a history all over it, so.
But that's basically it, and I had spoken to Derek the other day, and I apologize if I overstepped, but I do think that the city has this, they gotta watch it too. We
Mhm.
need to watch it. I don't know that our interest is probably as great maybe as they.
Yep.
But both parties need to watch.
So before we adjourn this evening, because it's only 4:23, frankly, I'm disheartened that the young lady who apparently seems to be in some distress here did not come in this evening. That being what it may, I would like us to go into executive session for a few minutes, because it will deal with the potential, if I'm guessing, she may even be seeking legal support. I'd like to discuss this a little bit, or maybe I don't need to. Maybe we can just stay out. I'm looking for the attorneys.
Now, let's do.
Let's go.
Because we talked, let's do.
Yeah, I think we need to kick this around for 5 minutes, have some thoughts on it, and we just don't need to be, it's gonna be the same issue regardless of whether she arrives or not. Oh, that's right, we have to.
David said he was gonna.
Yes,
So
and-
here, let's do